just for everybody's sign at this time, well, it's a double-edged sword. We have the families, the holidays, the shopping, all of that stuff could be, viewed as kind of negative because it causes stress or whatever. But again, same kind of idea here. We know it happens every year. We know what happens to us each individually. So the
Yep.
best thing you can do is to just kind of like figure out, okay, what am I
We
going
look
to
to
do?
the heavens for hope, guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings.
Hey, Dwayne, how
Hello,
you
we're
doing?
back.
Good to see you.
You too.
We had some technical stuff going on, but I'm actually here.
Yeah, her
Yeah, we
technical
made it
stuff,
through
she
the rain.
means what she's trying to say, audience, is Keone wasn't on his shit today. That's what she that's what she's saying.
No, what I'm saying is there were technical issues because I was trying to click into the link 57,000 times and it wasn't working. It was telling me I had the wrong credentials. I'm like, "Uh-oh." It's kind of like when Face ID tells you that it doesn't recognize you. It's like it's the only face I have, so I don't really know what to do.
It might do that to Dwayne because he just did the Superman Clark Kent thing where he put his glasses on and now he's a whole different person.
That's
Yes.
right. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody, and
Total
welcome.
personality shift.
So Dwayne, Stacy got to see the new way that we're doing in the stars with the cut scenes and the videos. There was a woman who commented and was really rude. I love the rude people who go out of their way, and she's like, "This is absolutely terrible." I just like thank you for viewing.
Why?
I don't know. People will be people.
Terrible about the show or terrible about the intro?
The whole aesthetics to
Oh,
the
Uh,
interesting.
readings and everything, and I'm like, you can't please everybody, right?
No.
Um,
no, I'm sure everything in her life is perfect and fabulous, and I wish I could be her.
What's the thing you always say? Well, aren't you a peach? You're just lovely.
Yeah, I always say, go fuck yourself.
Let me guess. You're single, divorced, and your kids don't like you. Oh, that makes perfect sense. um,
Love and light, love and light.
Yes, my saying is love and light. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. I'm moving forward, but
yes,
there you go.
I wanted to get really creative with the thumbnail this time. Did you guys see it?
I did, and
Yeah,
oh
so
my god, my people commented on it. They thought it was great. I loved our
the
Dwayne. We
Wonder
had
Twins.
it made me think of Harry Potter, right? Where
Yes.
their
Yeah,
wands have different colors. I thought that was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looked cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, let me have these two have a little duel. Let's see. And I don't know. I was just trying to be more creative with that. And I miss you guys. We only see each other once a month together, so you know,
Yeah.
and everybody's loving it. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up and let you guys carry on.
All right.
Well, it is the beginning of March, and it's like crazy. I can't even believe that we've gone through 2 months in 2024 already. Lot happening in the universe, and a lot of stuff happening. I can totally tell that we're in a water sign. We're in Pisces because things have been like really, people have been getting emotional, but there's good things happening too. A lot of intuition, intuitive things happening, a lot of relationships starting, interesting things happening in the world. So it's been really interesting and great. Um, Over the next couple of days, we've got some things going on. Uranus is in Taurus, which means that there's like unexpected changes in relationships, finances, values, things like that, unpredictability in matters of love and money. And then people might seek more freedom and independence in those areas. So keep that in mind. And then the sun conjuncts with Neptune in Pisces, and this heightens sensitivity, intuition, and spirituality. So, um, there's some interesting things happening. And I think that if you are a Pisces, you are probably the most comfortable of any of the signs because this is your native time, the time that makes the most sense to you. Everybody else just kind of like hold on and wait for the ride to be over. When we get to Aries, everything will be fine.
Oh my God. I'm like, stop the world. I want to get off. I was just having a conversation with my best friend, and the last, I don't know, 5 times we've hung out in the last couple of weeks, I've ended up in tears. And not because she's horrible, because shit keeps coming up and then I'm crying, and I'm not a crier. So let me just put that out there. I very much dislike this particular water season in that capacity. And when you say the intuition, my intuition has been on fire. So it's, like it's the typical duality of the planet that we live on.
Yeah.
You have to take the good with the bad. You have to take the up with the down. And so it's kind of like, okay, do you like the heightened intuition? Well, then take some of the tears. Like, this is just sort of the way that it is. And I said to her this morning, I'm like, I can't wait for this Pisces season to be over so that when we go out, I'm not crying in public and making a fool of
Yeah.
myself. It's ridiculous.
It happened to me too. I was watching this show called 1863 about this girl on a horse, and I end up crying. I'm like, what the
Oh my
hell's going on
God.
here?
Was, was that one the cowboy one with
Yeah,
Tim? I think it was Tim McGraw and his wife or
Tim
somebody.
McGraw.
Yes. Oh my God. I watched that months ago, and everyone told me, oh, you love Yellowstone and you'll love watching this and that. And I tried to watch like the 1920. I was like, yeah, no, I'm out. That was torture.
I
And
watched all of them, and I couldn't believe how amazing they were.
they
They
were
all take
fantastic.
require a few episodes. Yeah,
They were fantastic. And I could only get, that was the one I got through, and I knew that I could not handle the rest. There was
yeah,
just so
yeah.
much.
It's intense. It's
So much.
intense,
Yeah. But I
but you
did
learn
watch,
so much.
based on what we chatted about, I think it was at our last In the Stars, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
We chatted about the oh my God, now I can't think of her name. She's the drug dealer, the Netflix drug
Oh,
dealer.
Griselda.
Yes, Griselda. You were talking about her as a perfect example of an Aquarius beating the shit out of the guy and then telling him,
Yeah,
I'm taking my drugs back and you're going to put me in touch
right.
with this person. I watched that and I was like, wow, like holy cannoli.
Wasn't that great? And she's all about her family and all that, and her business and like everything. It's so Aquarius.
Yes. And she
It was
just spun
really, it
right out
was
of control.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. And Sophia Vergara is a Cancer.
Oh, is
And so yeah, so I always look up everybody's signs, and
oh, sure. That's
it's pretty
fascinating.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
To understand the actors kind of blueprint, and then to see what they how they present their characters,
Yeah,
because she was not a Cancer, but she probably had a lot of Cancer. Griselda was probably not, I don't think she was a Cancer, but she had a lot of Cancer in her
yeah.
chart because she was all about family, so that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, she was definitely an Aquarius, and because I looked her up too, and all of her kids still, are looking to her because the Aquarians are they control everything. They always a lot of people always call Aquarians the queen, because they
Mm,
like to control things. They know how to do everything. It's pretty amazing. That's exactly the way she was. It's so interesting.
yeah.
So.
Fascinating stuff. I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that we're coming up on eclipse season as well here in March. Is that true?
Yeah, in April we're having a solar eclipse on the 8th of April, and it's
Oh, so
only
it's
really
happening in
visible from
March.
Cleveland, this area. Yeah,
Oh,
So
really? From
it's
where you're
interesting.
at?
Yeah,
Lucky you. That's kind
yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I can't believe it.
of. I forgot
And then we got
what was happening.
Mercury in retrograde. March
Mm.
6th starts until the 29th. So
Oh, well, that explains all. Okay, so we're kind of in a shadow period, and my
yeah,
one of my like I have Mercury that rules two of my planets, so I always
yeah,
get really like super affected by the Mercury energy. So that explains all the technical weirdness that's been going on for me the last couple of days.
yeah. But you have a good thing on the 18th. The full moon is in Virgo, so
Yeah,
that's really good. Which illuminates emotions, brings things to fruition. Focus on practicality, organization, health, and paying attention to your physical well-being.
interesting.
So that's going to be important. And then, of course, the 21st, the equinox, the spring is here, and we're going
Yeah.
to have so much fun with that.
Yes,
That's
I
going
am
to be great.
You
very
guys know anytime that you mention retrograde, it's going to be a trigger for me, right? You guys know this by now.
much. Yes.
Yeah. Well, good. You need to be warned so you don't get too
Well,
crazy.
you guys keep saying when we're in and out of it, and I feel like ever since I met both of you, we've never been out of it. But once you explain there's different ones, now I get it. I used to be so confused doing Demystify the
Yeah.
Divine with Stacy, and she would keep talking about we're in retrograde, and it's like September. I'm like, you've been saying that since March. When are we out of it? And I didn't
Well, we have a lot of
understand.
them.
Yeah.
We have a lot
Yeah.
of them.
It does it a lot.
It's like 3 or 4 times a year, depending on how the schedule goes, and it lasts for anywhere from 3 weeks to, I believe, a couple of months, right, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on when we can kind of see it and it looks like it's going backwards, that's the retrograde. So it's interesting and it seems to be really always in line with when everything goes to hell.
Well, are all the different for the people out there that don't fully understand retrogrades, are the different retrogrades affecting different aspects of life? Because I remember one time, Stacey, you were talking about retrograde that interrupts technology.
Right. So typically retrogrades are going to Mercury retrogrades are going to affect communication. They're going to affect technology related stuff. But depending on what sign it falls in, it and how it affects your chart individually, it's going to affect you in different areas of your life. So Dwayne can definitely speak to that more so than I can. So what can we expect with this particular Mercury retrograde that's coming up at the end of the month?
Well, this Mercury retrograde is in Aries, and so it basically Mercury itself rules the communication and the technology, so that's a given when it's in retrograde. And then the Aries part of it is um, mishaps, delays, impulsive decisions, conflicts that arise from like assertive communication. Uh, and you want to, as usual with Mercury retrograde, you want to avoid signing contracts or making major decisions if it's at all possible, because that's the point of it. But like you were saying, different planets have different um, meanings and things that they connect to. So when those planets are in retrograde, those are the things that they handle. So Mercury is about communication and technology. So that's the way to think of the retrogrades. And you can always, if anybody wants to just go out there and Google planets in retrograde, you'll get a list of all the different planets, what it means when they're in retrograde, when they're going to be in retrograde. It is a known thing. It is on a schedule, so it's not like we just wait and then we find out it's happening. Like we can know all year long when things are going to go into retrograde. So you can check that out if you want. Oh, we have a guest. Great.
Yes, Francis would like a reading and a horoscope. He is 225. So February 25th. His birthday was 3 days
All
ago.
right.
Oh, happy
Yes.
belated birthday, Francis. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday. So we have a Pisces, a male Pisces. Um, so male Pisces, you are probably in a lot of ways practical. You don't beat around the bush. You like to say things directly. And being in this time of Pisces is a great time to use all those powers that you have. You probably tend toward things that have color in them. When it comes to design, bright colors, a lot of times when I think of Pisces, I think about when you go to the Caribbean and you see those paintings of people with baskets on their heads and green trees and blue water and all that. That tends to be like a really great thing for Pisces. And of course, colorful fish items and stuff like that. Right now, if you are not in a relationship, it's a really good time to put that energy out there and make that kind of like manifest, because it really can happen quickly for Pisces, especially because it's all about intuition. Um, for Pisces, your number one thing is how you feel around people and things. So you have to go with your gut. If you're trying to make any decisions at this time, go with your gut. Don't do things because you have to, you think it's right, but you don't want to, all of that kind of stuff. It's all about your intuition, your gut feeling. Same thing when it comes to the dating and all that. Also, right now, Pisces should really be thinking about healthy eating, exercise, all of those types of things. It's a great time to start, especially since it's your birthday. You can start this year right and continue for the rest of the year. And when it comes to work and finance, um, it's probably because we've already said that, by March 6th, it's going to be time to not make any big decisions, not make any changes in your work environment or anything like that. So between now and I would say the 5th, you have a few days to really make some decisions if that's what you're doing in your life. And remember that every sign, so even if you're a Pisces, you have a different rising, a different moon, and 9 different planets, so things can be different. And if you want to find out your entire chart, you can go to, there's cafeastrology.com where you can get a free natal chart. And there's millions of them online. You just Google free natal or birth chart, and you put in your time of day, time of birth, day of birth, and location of your birth, and you'll get all of your signs. And I'm feeling like for you, Francis, you might. This is probably a good time to take a trip. So I don't know if you're planning a trip or not. This is a good time to take that trip that you're trying, that you might be thinking about, or you're trying to make happen. So I hope you do that, and I hope that your rest of this year is amazing.
Awesome. And Francis, I'm going to actually pull 2 cards for you today. I'm going to do a tarot and an oracle. And we're going to pull cards from the tarot. I really want to focus on what energy you can really lean into for yourself personally over this next month. And especially around that, I keep feeling the sort of the spring equinox and that shift from sort of winter into spring. So what energy can you lean into? Oh, Queen of Mirrors, the Watcher. Queen of Mirrors in this card is Queen of Cups. So feeling very much for you, it's being observant of your energy, being observant of others' energies. I feel like your psychic ability is going to deepen especially during this time from the winter to the spring. And there's almost this energy of, I feel like there's somebody that's going to be coming into your path right around that equinox season or energy that's going to present an opportunity for you that you've been waiting for some time, and the opportunity feels right. And I want to say, I feel there's some quickness, there's some speed to it, which usually doesn't come through with that Queen of Cups energy. She's not particularly how do I say, motivated to sort of move forward. But I'm feeling that there will be a quickness in your decision making around this opportunity. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card for you, and it's from the Soul's Journey Oracle from Rasuli. And this is, so we just talked about the energy that you can lean into, and this card here is going to be what's going to support you through that path. We've got Sacrament of the Present. Experience every moment as it is. So this month, especially with a lot of the ups and downs of the Pisces energy, for you, and even though you're a Pisces, which means you're swimming in it and you love it, I feel like you're still affected by those ups and downs. And I feel like for you, the ups and downs, it's kind of like be here now for all of it. You know, whether it's an up or a down, kind of embrace it, go all in. I see you like, of course, because Pisces, I'm seeing the fish, and I'm seeing you as the fish going into the wave, like you're diving into the wave. So the wave is coming this way and you're diving into the wave. So it's kind of like your presence is embracing what's coming to you, and it's not overtaking you. Instead, you're saying, I'm taking the bull by the horns, kind of thing. I'm facing it head on. I'm diving into it so that I can fully immerse myself in the lesson or in the message or in the feeling. And through that act, I'm able to process and get to the other side of whatever the lesson is much more quickly, much more effectively. Also, I like the way that they phrase this: sacrament of the present. So there's sacred connection and sacred union for you in that present moment. And I feel like that sacred union with self and source. And I'm feeling this person that's coming in with a particular opportunity that I saw in that Queen of Cups. It's understanding that in that present moment as well, there's something sacred to the experience. So I guess I'll leave you with it's all sacred. It's all sacred. So, sacrament of the present is recognition of being present in every moment and understanding that every single moment has something important to offer you. So I hope that makes some sense. And again, happy belated birthday. That's so exciting.
Oh, you're
Oh,
muted, Keone.
yeah, Keone, I think
Ah.
you're muted. We can't hear you.
Ah, geez, I hate when I do that. And I had a really good joke that I'm not going to say again because it's not going to land as well. Uh, so we've lost that. Um, I said what else is also great is Heather Arrington said happy birthday, Francis. Mine was the same day, so they're twinning.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. Happy birthday to you.
isn't
That's
that
exciting.
that is phenomenal. I've never met actually in my entire life someone who has the same exact birthday as me.
Really? I
Really?
was
Yeah.
married to someone who had the same birthday as me, and let me tell you, it sucked. I'm never going to do that again.
I took
You
the
don't
hint
get
when you said was.
to see at all. There's no special day because you're sharing it with your partner, so then it just becomes like a regular day.
I have the
Yeah.
same
So
birthday as Britney Spears and Lucy Liu, and I think if you thought of who would have the baby, that would be me. It would be Lucy Liu and Britney Spears.
oh
Well,
my
perfect.
god.
Makes total sense.
Oh my god. That
That's
is I
hilarious.
that's weird how and I have a question for you guys, but before I get to that question, everybody that's watching, if you would like a horoscope from Dwayne or guidance or reading from Stacy, go ahead and put it in the chat. When you give us your birth, just give us the month and the day. Please leave the year out. We don't need someone to know all of your personal information. There's a lot on the internet. Um, Question: I've never met someone with the same birthday as me, but I notice my closest friends, no matter what month they're born either in the sixth, anywhere between the second and the ninth. Like my best friend is August 8th. My other best friend is September 6th. And it's always those days that resonate with me.
Well,
Interesting.
that's like a numerology thing,
Yeah.
A lot of times when you see numerology, it ends up connecting with you and your numerology. Same
Yeah.
thing happens with me. I was born on the 2nd of December, and almost all my friends are on the 2nd of whatever month they are. It's usually a Scorpio. I usually have Scorpio friends that are like November 2nd. For some reason, I've had all through my life that has come up. It's the weirdest thing. So, it's a thing. It's
Interesting.
it's yeah, it's wild how that works out.
Well, and
And
twos are all about that pairing, partnership, union, the duality of life, the duality of the world, creating a plan,
mhm.
research, sort of formulating what comes next. So that's kind of interesting about the six. Keone, since you don't have like a specific number, but they're at the beginning of the month, I would say sort of astrologically, and Dwayne, correct me if I'm wrong, there are like high and low um aspects of the wheel of each sign. And so when you're at the sort of the beginning of that, you're dealing with that high and low is not good or bad. It's just a kind of a different approach to the energy. It's like one side of the coin or the other. So I would imagine you're drawn, Keone, to individuals who are more in that higher sort of density of it. Am I getting that right, Dwayne? Because I feel like I'm just talking out of
Yeah,
my.
yeah. There's three of every sign. Like the Sag 1 is November 21st to December 7th or something like that, and Sag 2 and Sag 3, and the Sag 1 is more outgoing, fun, and adventurous. The Sag 2 is more kind of like book smart, likes to stay in. The Sag 3 is very close to Capricorn, which is much more grounded, a little bit less adventurous, less outgoing and wild. And it's the same for each of the signs. So that definitely works out. The beginning of these signs are much more intense, much more densely packed in with those qualities of that sign. So
So Keone's Gemini. So what are the three sections of the Gemini?
Uh-oh.
well, the first part of the Gemini is much more talkative, communicative, analytical, um, uh, s- very outgoing, friendly, that kind of a thing. The second Gemini is a little bit more in between, and it's just as analytical, but not as completely outgoing, not as completely willing to open arms with everybody and everything. And then you get into the third part, and that becomes more Cancer-like, more emotional, more home oriented, those types of things. It's interesting because if you look at the Geminis that we know, like for instance, Trump is a Gemini. I believe he's the
Hey,
15th,
don't put
and
us
he's
together.
right in the middle. So is Carmen Electra. She's much more close to you, Keone. Um, and also Prince was a Gemini, but he was at the beginning, and he's like the very top of the line Gemini. Like all about excitement and fun, but he also had very intense beliefs when it came to religion and all this kind of stuff, and that's very Gemini, analytical about all things that have to do with the global consciousness. So that's kind of how it works out in each of the signs. Any sign has the three different parts, and it's almost like a thing on a boat. Going fast, going little middle, going slow. That's kind of how it
Mm,
works with each of the signs. And then the next sign has influence on the last part, and the sign before it has an influence on the beginning part. So
interesting.
that's why they
Thank
think
you for
people in the
explaining
middle of each sign. Yeah, that's why people in the middle of each sign are really purely, mostly purely what that sign is about.
I used to
You
do
know.
this thing where people would ask me what's my sign, and I would always tell them the wrong sign. And then I'll notice like months later, they'll be judging me, going, you're such a Sagittarius, and that's why you do this, 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 and this. And then I finally go, I'm not a Sagittarius, I'm a this. So I don't know if sometimes people mental, like, I hate to write someone off because my horoscope says I don't click with that particular horoscope, because sometimes it backfires on me. but a
Yeah, and
lot
it
of
will,
but a lot
because
of
you don't
times it
know
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, because and plus it will always backfire because you're only using your sun sign in that place.
Yeah, and
If
that's
you
the
do that.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you have a rising, and once you look at your full chart, things
Mhm.
really make sense. It's crazy, but it really works out. Like your full chart is that combination, like a combination lock that unlocks who you are. And I've said it before, it's not mystical. It's about being born in a sack of water that's affected by the movement of the moon and the planets like any other water on the face of the earth. So when your spinal cord and your neurological system is developing, there's little waves in that womb from the movement of the moon and the planets, and so that's what creates all this kind of stuff. And they figured it out 3,000 years ago. So it's not like, it happened in the 60s or something.
Right.
you
Well, and
know?
water is a conduit, so it's a conduit for
Yeah.
energy, and so that's
Yeah, and
that's
we're all made of the same stuff as everything else. We're all made of atoms and, all of the stuff that everything else is made of. So we're all affected the exact same way as the moon and the water and the planets and all of that stuff. So
yeah.
that's what makes it, so realistic. But then again, I also try not to run my whole life by astrology because it is just a basis of idea for a scientific slash mystical idea. So it's like, you can't base your whole life on it, but it is. I'm
it's
constantly trying to wait for it to show itself, to prove itself wrong, and it never does. It's
it,
crazy.
well, it's funny. What's a sign that's mostly known for being overly nice or nice? Um,
Probably Sagittarius or
it's it,
Pisces.
it's so like my friend goes, Sagittariuses are really they're so nice. And my friend goes, you ever met a Sagittarius from New York?
Yeah, because
And it's like,
Sagittarians
well,
like to be
by
friends with everybody.
by New York standards, they're still nice though.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's very true by New York standards. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, what
Taylor
on
Swift.
the flip side of that, I have met some. Well, I have a lot of Sagittarians in my life, so I have met quite a few Sagittarians who, um, they not pride themselves on, but they like try to prepare people for the fact that they're brutally honest, and
Yeah.
it's literally brutally honest. It's not just I'm an honest person and I'm going to tell you the truth. It's I'm not really going to spare your feelings. I'm just going to call it like I see it. And not that every Sagittarius does that, but I've run into that as well. So I think it's funny that they're the sign that is the nicest, but also the sign that can just cut you to the quick with the words that they use if they're not, conscious or aware of the delivery. And a lot of them don't care. And I know you're a Sagittarius, you're a comedian, so you've learned how to deliver the truth with a little bit of humor, which is, I want to say it's the spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right?
Yeah, and I'm a Capricorn rising, so I have much more thought process into what I do and say and all that kind of stuff. Whereas a Sag with a Sag sun, Sag moon, Sag rising would be like, could be, really. Yeah, and we have, Sagittarians have the foot in mouth disease. Like, we'll say things because we're not even thinking about it and realize, like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. But that's why it's great for me to be a comedian.
Yes.
Oh, we have another guest from the
Yeah, well, we
universe.
did the male version of 225, so we're gonna go ahead and give Heather the since you started and you said, well, you're a male, we're just gonna go ahead and see
Yeah.
what the female 225 is like.
Yeah, so the female side of things is a little bit more intense, a little bit more
Ooh.
emotionally, feeling those ups and downs, and may have a little bit. Well, actually, right now is when you're feeling the least amount of that, or it's at least comfortable. So if you're having emotional situations and ups and downs, it's kind of like you're going with the flow. For you, I would say that the same kind of things apply as for Francis. Like, if you're thinking about taking a trip or even planning a trip, now is the time to do it before the 6th. When it comes to love, if you're not with somebody, this is the time to put out that energy and really try to magnetize yourself and really think about what you want in a partner. Not necessarily aesthetically, although that is part of it, um, but the majority of what you want that person to be in your life and how you want them to exist in your relationship. The other thing is that Pisces can tend to, especially around the birthday time, drink a little too much. And they have sometimes, especially if they're younger, the younger Pisces can drink a lot. We think, I always think Pisces, they're fish. They like to drink water. Like the fish, they like to drink vodka or whatever kind of favorite drink they have. And they love feeling good. And when you're feeling really good, especially if you're inebriated, those inhibitions go away and the intuition is actually heightened. So you might actually feel what people are thinking and saying. So she just turned 40. Okay, that's great. So now you're in a part of your life that you've passed, what's called the Saturn returns. So now you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and it's time to put it out there and get what you want. Now, if you are in a relationship, then the next thing might be career. And if you're not happy in your career, it's the same kind of situation. You want to figure out what it is you want. So what a lot of people do is they focus on what I don't want, relationship or job. I don't want somebody who does this. I don't want a job that's like this. And so what are you going to get? You're going to get the thing that you're focusing on, even though you're saying I don't. You're saying you're trying to get what you want by saying what you don't want. It doesn't work out. So make sure you're focusing on the positive and really put out there what you want, and trust your intuition. That's the best thing I could say for Pisces, a female Pisces right now.
I love that. And you know what? So Heather, the 40 is, first of all, 40s are great. Second of all, 4 is foundation. It's the energy of manifestation and co-creation, and I'm feeling like that's what you're really stepping into this particular year for you in your life. It's really owning your co-creative power. What is it that I really want in my life and in my space? What am I not willing to tolerate anymore? And what does that look like on the flip side? Kind of like what Dwayne was saying, focusing on what you want, not what on you don't want, because that's going to be that slipstream of energy. So I'm going to do the same thing for you that I did for Francis. I'm pulling a tarot card for you on the energy that can support you for this next month. And then I'll pull an oracle for what can support you. So, oh my God, you can't make this shit up. I pulled a 4. So 4 of stones, which is 4 of pentacles. Oh my God. Okay. So the 4 is really powerful for you this year because you are in charge of that foundation that you're laying. And it's not like you have to lay foundation and then you can leap. What I'm hearing is you've been laying the foundation. The 4 is showing up to say, look at the platform you've created. Now, what are you going to do with it? So this is that time to manifest and co-create because you've got those layers. You've got that, I want to say, that support underneath you that's going to let you do it. The interesting thing about the 4 of stones is it's often seen as a card of protection, but it's also can be seen as a card of like hoarding, like bringing all your stuff in. And what I keep hearing for you is don't hoard your energy. It's not, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your energy, but you don't want to hoard it. This is not a time for you to hermit. This is not a time for you to retract and contract. It's actually a time for you to bloom, blossom, and grow. So understand that the 4 of stones for you, the message is that you are protected. You've already got what you need in that space. So this is the time to sort of be a little more external rather than internal. That feels really significant. And then let's see what can support you, especially during this this year or this month. Sorry, this month. All right, so this is great. Free of attachments, invite true love into your life. So this is what's going to support you is where am I living in an attached way versus a non-attached way? And I talk about this a lot, that attachment, as soon as we attach ourselves to something, we attach ourselves to an outcome, we have expectation about something, it breeds disappointment. It sets us up for that space of feeling loss, feeling like I'm disappointed, or I didn't get what I wanted, or, oh my God, somebody could turn around and take this away from me. So the liberation comes in the non-attachment. I own nothing, and therefore whatever crosses my path, I am free to embrace it or not. I'm free to engage with it or not. And there's no consequence. There are always consequences, good consequences and bad consequences. But really, it's that learning experience. If we go from there are no mistakes, only choices and experiences that we can have, and what we learn from those, there's that freedom there for you. So look at where you attach yourself emotionally to the outcome of people, places, and things. And the liberation is in releasing the attachment and simply saying, I'm going to be present, to use Francis's card. I'm going to be present in the moment and recognize that now is all we have. So if I choose to engage with this experience, then I'm going to soak it all up for this moment. And regardless of how long I'm going to have this for, I have no attachment to it. I'm just going to be present with it until I'm ready to be present with something else. And I'm not going to get hung up on what I think it's supposed to look like. So this is really significant for you in particular. And I feel like because it talks about invite true love into your life, I feel that this is kind of the secret or the key to getting that true lasting partnership connection that maybe you're looking for, you're seeking, or you're wanting. This is the secret. The universe is saying, release attachment, live in a space of non-attachment. I'm so grateful for what I have right now. I'm forever changed as a result of my integration or my engagement with this, and I'm not going to attach timing to it. I'm simply going to enjoy it for what it is, for however long it is, and then I'm going to move on to the next. So really big stuff. This is going to be a wonderful year for you, but it's also going to be a great month for you in terms of separating the wheat from the chaff and really giving yourself that space to say, here I am, world, this is me, and I'm happy with all of it. So hopefully that makes some sense.
All right, Stacy, I know you got to leave soon, so we're going to do something real quick. We had 2 requests in the queue, but thank God Rick was nice enough to request the horoscope. So, what I'd like, Stacy, because you have to go, is for you to go first. And Dwayne, you were going to do a horoscope for Rick. I'll get his birthday month and day for you. But, Stacy, you're going to give guidance to Katie Tracy.
Awesome, Katie. So let's pull a tarot card for you to see what energy you can lean into for this month energy. Ooh, Katie, this is fabulous. You got Psyche, you got the World card. So you're coming up on, I want to say, a big completion. And I'm hearing that it's on a personal level. So this is internal. This is something that you've been transforming and transmuting within yourself for a while. And now you're feeling that completion energy, that, okay, world, I've arrived and this feels really good. And I'm choosing to celebrate my wins. And yes, I can be looking at what's going to be next and what does this all mean. But what I'm hearing for you is I'm going to choose to sit in the celebratory energy of this. I'm going to choose to revel in the success of this hard won resolution or revelation that's coming up and coming through. So this month, I want to say to you, let go of all of those things and the stuff that are kind of on the to-do list, things that you feel a bit obligated to lean into, and focus a little more on, this is my time to celebrate me. This is my time to acknowledge how far I've come, because the other stuff is still going to be there. The other stuff, and I feel that literally the next month, as we shift over into Aries season, you're going to feel way more motivated. You're going to have so much clarity around what's next, that this is the month to embrace what's now and to celebrate yourself. Look at all the colors in here too. We've got beautiful reds and oranges and yellows that are in here. So you're dealing with a lot of like connection to the body, connection and groundedness into who you are in the physical. I feel like you're connecting to that goddess energy as well. And the goddess will not be tamed. The goddess will not be silent. The goddess wants to be seen and heard. So embrace that. And then your oracle, what can support you? Oh, this is fabulous. Redirect the fire, transform anger into creative power. So even though this is a huge success and a huge win for you, I feel that you've still got a little bit of resentment almost due to towards one or two people, due to the fact that you didn't really have to do it all alone, but you ended up having to do it all alone because there were people that just didn't see it the way that you saw it, or people disappointed you, people let you down. What I'm feeling here with this redirect the fire is it's knowing your power, because this particular journey is what has absolutely brought you around to recognizing this is how strong and kick-ass I really am. And so I can redirect the fire. And in order for me to do that, I need to release attachment. Oh my God. So we're piggybacking off of the other readings here. I need to release attachment to those people, places, and things that really I felt weren't necessarily supporting me on this path, and understand that on that spiritual level, they really were supporting me. I just didn't see it that way. So this is huge. And not to say that your anger is bad or wrong. We feel what we feel. This is to say that anger can tend to turn inwards, and then we run into all sorts of problems around trying to digest things that aren't good for us, right? So the redirecting the fire, and I think it's interesting too, because you're leaning into a fire season. After Pisces, we have the Aries, which is a fire sign. It's recognizing, okay, I'm actually going to direct this to where it really belongs, and I'm going to forgive and move forward, knowing that at the end of the day, I still got what I needed, and I did it on my own, or I did it in spite of where I thought I needed that information, or where I thought I needed that support. I did it anyway without it. So what is that showing me? Right? So some really big revelations for you on a personal level this month. So I hope that makes some sense, and love those cards for you, especially the colors coordinating. We talked about the reds, the oranges, and the yellows, and then we've got the reds, the oranges, and the yellows, right? So you're definitely more comfortable in your own skin today than you ever were before. So that feels really good.
All right, Stacy, awesome, amazing, thank you.
All
Sorry
right.
for the late start. I know you got to run because we started late.
Yeah, I've
Um,
got
so
clients, so I've got to hop off. But thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna let you, Dwayne, take over and work your magic. And it was such a pleasure to see you guys. We'll take care. We'll see you next time.
all right,
Thanks, you
Stacy.
too, Stacy.
Bye.
Dwayne, you've got a. Oh, I'm sorry, Stacy. Dwayne, you've got a horoscope for Rick, January 12th.
Yeah, so January 12th, you are a Capricorn, Rick. I'm sure you know that. Because of the sun and your ruling planet Saturn right now, you might have a little bit of a pessimistic outlook on things. But the important and good parts about Capricorn for the next few weeks is that anything you've put your intentions on, and anything that you've put a lot of work into, whether it's work, love, relationship, is coming to fruition, and the chances that you're going to reach that target are really good. When it comes to love, if you are in a relationship, stability is one of the most important things to you, and loyalty. And so really focusing on the beneficial or beautiful things of your relationship is going to help. If there are any issues going on, settle them quickly, especially before the 6th of March, when communication can get really messed up until about the 23rd. um, Capricorns this month may be feeling a little bit of things in the chest. It can be health issues, nothing big or intense, but it's one of the things that happens at this time for Capricorns. So keep your eye out for that. And it's usually not going to be a major thing, just a minor thing. And also, you tend to be very direct and kind of like a no nonsense person. That right now can be a bit of a liability when it comes to other people, especially when it comes to water signs, Pisces, Cancers, Scorpios, those types of people can feel things very intensely, and you may come off harsh to them. So just keep that in mind if you are over, seeing people at work, family members, that type of a thing. For the next few weeks, it's going to be a time to really watch how you come across to people. And overall, career, money, love, all of it comes down to what have you put your energy on and what have you worked on. That's what's going to be coming to fruition. So there's no surprises for you over the next couple of weeks. Other than maybe a an event that you may need to go to that you didn't expect to go to, but it will turn out great in the end if you do. So I hope that that works out for you. And thanks for checking us out today, Rick.
Awesome. Thank you so much today. Rick also says, "Well done. Thank you." I think it's awesome that not only with your subscribers and people who watch In the Stars with Dwayne on Keone Productions on YouTube, and the people that join us from Keone TV on Facebook, as well as get horoscopes, and they can come on here and get readings from Stacy's, because we don't do readings
Yeah.
on Keone Productions or Keone TV. And I also like that the people that are here watching from Facebook, from the Black Feather Intuitive, and from Stacy's YouTube channel, the Black Feather Intuitive, where they're usually getting tarot and guidance, that they can come on here and get a horoscope for you. So I love these mashups. I love what you guys do. It's such a great thing, great energy, and the banter back and forth is always amazing. So a good wrap up to another month. So everyone listening, you can catch the Mystify the Divine with Stacy every other Wednesday on the Black Feather Intuitive on Facebook and the Black Feather Intuitive on YouTube. You can catch recorded episodes of In the Stars with Dwayne every other week, the same day as the Mystify the Divine. The Mystify the Divine is 8 p.m. Eastern. Dwayne's episodes come out just before hers on Keone Productions on YouTube. But at the end, the last Wednesday of every month, you'll have these mashups with Stacy and Dwayne. So we look forward to seeing you at the end of March together. Thank you,
All
everybody.
right.
He's going
Thanks,
to end
guys.
with the keep looking up.
Yep. Keep looking up. That's where the stars are.